Hello, I'm Christina from The Turned Leg, and this is the busiest time of year if you are in retail. And as you know, I have a booth at Plaza Antiques and Collectibles Mall where I sell antiques and home goods and items to help make things beautiful. I also have an online store and a YouTube channel, and I am a single mom, and this girl is crazy busy. So this week's video, I'm just going to show you what I've been up to this week. You guys have told me you really enjoyed going behind the scenes with me, so that's exactly what we're going to do. The very first thing we're going to do is we're going to head to my booth at Plaza Antiques and Collectibles Mall in Lincoln Park, Michigan, which is right outside of Detroit. I had a piece sell, and so when that happens, you have to play what I call furniture Jenga. You have to move things around, make things look fresh. And what might surprise you is one of the areas that I showed you in a video not too long ago that I just got straightened and set. I'm taking it down because I am. So come along, see the new piece of furniture that I'm bringing in, see what I'm up to. I'm also then going to go thrifting, and I find a lot of good treasures. Here is the piece that I'm bringing into the mall. I found it as a curbside treasure. I added some DIY paint to give it a makeover. I also added some really pretty paint inlays. I did the full makeover online on Facebook. If you're not following me on Facebook and YouTube, you can check me out, The Turned Leg. So now it's time to take the piece to the mall. I had hoped to make this like a quick pop-in. See that little daybed there? I was going to take that down and put in the vanity, but nothing ever goes easy or as planned, and sometimes you just get inspired. So this is the space I'm going to be working in. There's that new area that I just redid. I also redid this section too a bit. There's a full video on it. I will drop the link here if you want to check it out. But yeah, just take down the daybed. That should be simple, right? The problem was I didn't have all the tools I needed to take the daybed apart, and I had put it together pretty darn sturdy. So instead, it was time to change the plans. I was going to move it somewhere else, just leave it assembled, because I didn't have a lot of time. But if I was going to put this somewhere else, that meant I needed to do extra work. And you're also going to see here my mom, Ann Cornick from Paint and Porcelain. She just happened to stop by the mall while I was there and offered to give me a hand. She does have a booth right near mine and paints hand-painted porcelain and canvas art. And I thought I could put the little vanity in that section, but I didn't really like it. So remember this area, time to move everything out, switch things around, because I think the vanity will work better right here. I also thought it would be a good spot for the vanity. The vanity does not have a mirror, so if I had it against a wall, or in this case, a door and a screen, I could set up a mirror to show people how simple it would be. Although this first mirror was just not doing it for the piece. And as usual, I'm changing my mind because good display is so very important. My mom had the suggestion to put this little knick-knack shelf. It still kind of gives the illusion of, hey, you could just hang a mirror and you'd be all set, or a picture or whatever on this vanity. And now the fun part begins, which is staging the piece. Now, here is how everything is looking. And I say it over and over again, but you know, a booth is always a work in progress. And as shoppers shop, it just contributes to all of that. But I love what I do, and I love making things pretty. On this vanity, I added iron orchid paint inlays to it. Just love how it turned out. And let's take a look around the corner. I just slid this dresser here. Now I had this table on the other side of my booth, and that's where I put the daybed all decked out for Christmas. Christmas is directly across from it, so I thought this was a good tie-in. And I moved this yellow table over to the area where the other table sold. And I will say, just that simple act of moving it, the yellow table sold right after it. So move that stuff around, make it look fresh. It does make a difference. And to reward myself for all of my efforts, I decided to go thrifting. Yep, I was supposed to be editing a video, but you've already seen that video, so that video did get out. Time to see what I could find. This time of year, a lot of my shoppers are looking for presents. So looking at pretty candlesticks, some of them, you know, if you look careful, you can actually find crystal candlesticks and crystal items. There was a lot of pretty stuff. You know, my downfall is pretty clear glass. It is not a big seller, but crystal and pretty cut glass sometimes will sell too. So you got to keep an eye out. And the good news was the shelves were stocked. And I'm sure my puppy George would like this sign. So true if you own a dog. Always look in picture section, never know. This pottery was awesome, but I don't know if you can tell, there's a huge crack. I'm really trying to not get excited and grab things and look for damage first. This set too was, I thought, originally an office set, but it was a bathroom set, and it was not what I was thinking, so I decided to pass on it. Time to keep looking. Some interesting pieces up high too. There's also a decanter back there. Those are always good sellers during the holidays. This piece was really beautiful, blue and white. I wasn't familiar with the name, but the price was good at $2.92. Prices near me have really been climbing, so that's like a rarity to find something under $5. Also, checking out all of the mugs. Obviously, there's always the traditional mugs, but those aren't what I'm looking for. I was actually hoping to find some Santa mugs. You always have to look because you never know what you're going to find. And these glasses were beautiful at 95 cents each. Unfortunately, on closer inspection, they had speckle marks. They were not dirty. They were from the dishwasher. But this teapot was one of the things I was bringing home with me. Stay tuned to see my entire thrift haul. I had a lot of things in my cart. It was a good day. And besides what was in my cart, look at what else I found. This beautiful rocker for only $15. I actually spotted it when I walked into the store and knew I had to have it. And this Santa I got for $3. I have to tell you, someone else actually grabbed it before me, but I was good. I didn't do anything except wait. But upon checkout, I noticed it wasn't in her cart. So when I asked about it, she actually went and grabbed it for me, but then said, but it is $3. And I said, that is no problem. So sometimes it pays to be patient. Here is that cute little canister that I got thrifting. I am loving like the little red trim on it. That just totally makes it, but I think there's something easy that I can do to just take this piece to the next level. And although I'm planning on getting this ready for my booth, this might be one I have to keep for myself. I have to tell you, if you find canisters like this at thrift stores, pick them up, because this is such a simple project. Today I'm going to be using IOD, Iron Orchid Designs transfer. I use them a lot on the channel. In fact, I will put a link to another video here so you can check it out. Now, this transfer was last year's Christmas transfer, and it has been discontinued, but it's kitschy Christmas, and it was one of my favorites. So at the time of this video, there might still be a few available on my website for you to purchase if you are interested. I am just in love with this transfer and the vintage vibe. As an antique, a vintage dealer, there are so many beautiful transfers to choose from. And best of all, they're tiny. So even if you use this transfer, you're going to have a lot left over. These are kind of reminding me of vintage postcard vibes. And the hardest part is going to be to pick out the transfer to use for this project. I have picked out the transfers I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using Santa, and I really like this garland. I think it's going to go almost all the way around. If not, there is extra. Although, of course, as I'm doing this, I'm like, well, I could use this one, or there's just too many to choose from. So I'm going to pick one. Oh, look at that cute. I'm going to just pick it and go with it. Now, because this is a curved surface, what I am going to do is I'm going to use a little painter's tape on this, just to make it stick and hold in place. If it's a flat surface and it's a small transfer, you really don't have to do that. With these transfers, there's grid paper, and that's nice for lining it up. There's also this plastic backing. Once you take this sheet off, it will stick. So do make sure you have it exactly where you want when you line it up. There is a seam on this canister, so I am going to put this, I'm going to put it a little bit down because I'm thinking I'm going to put the garland above. So we're going to put it a little bit more at the bottom. Oh my goodness, Santa. I'm already loving this so much. And this is literally sticking, but just the static and the sticker part of the IOD transfer, the stick part. But I don't want to have any problems, so I am going to put a few pieces of tape just to kind of hold it in place. When you are working on transfers, they give you these little things. They're included with your transfer. And I like to, on a small transfer, just kind of rub all over it to get good adhesion, at least a good start, so I don't have to worry too much. Now I'm going to grab it. It's kind of cool if you can cut yourself like an extra tab. I'm going to grab this part. I'm going to be peeling it back. And if you see here, Santa's head, his hat there is still attached. So you want to do this slowly. You want to rub it down and release. If as you're pulling it up, you see like a big hunk, see that red there? If you see that still coming up, just set it back down and apply a little bit more pressure. These go on so easy, even on a curved surface. You're just going to be amazed, but I think if you're working on a curved surface, the tape will help. See there with the shoes? I got to put that back down. And then as you pull up slowly, it releases, and you are almost completely done. Now, I will seal. You can seal this if you would like. I'm going to use a little DIY big top to seal this. Oh my goodness. Santa, wouldn't this be great for Coco? Anything, all of the things. Now, to put this down, I have to trim it a little bit more, just so it'll fit where I want and not be in the way of the top of the can. There. But I really love these canisters, and I like that this looks like vintage, like red enamel, even though it's not old. What do you think? Isn't that adorable? I am going to add a secret surprise inside. I think, oh my goodness, there is this little elf. Once you start using IOD transfers, like you'll find somewhere to put everything. Look at this little guy. Now you do have to be careful that it's totally dry. I had a little bit of a hard time on the rim here because there were spots that were still a little wet from when I cleaned it. So make sure everything is totally dry. How cute is that? And the tin is complete. We're just going to add some top coat and it'll be really sealed in. I really am loving how that thrift flip turned out. I also want to show you a few projects that I've been working on. I was recently inspired by Ginger Chick Rehab. She just has the coolest project. She's here on YouTube too if you want to check her out. As an antique dealer, when you set up Christmas, there's always maybe things that get broken or things in the bottom of the container, or even when I'm setting up my own holiday decor, I have these like poor lost souls. And I have found the perfect way to reuse these. So I hope you enjoy. These are all available for sale in my booth at Plaza Antiques. As I'm recording this video, one has already sold, but they were a lot of fun to work on. And that way you have a way to reuse all of those Christmas little misfit goodies into something fun.
Jingle bells ringing in my ear. Jingle bell, a sound that's oh so dear. Frosty the snowman is all around town.
I love this little community that we have created here. I love all of your comments. And on the next video coming soon here, I am heading to Toledo to go thrifting. So I hope you will come back and join me. If you haven't clicked the subscribe button and you're enjoying the content, I hope you will do that. That is one easy way, costs no money, that you can support my channel. Also, if you turn on the bell, you'll get notifications every time I have a new video. Thank you so very much. Now get out there to salvage, repurpose, and create.